welcome to piano lesson number 2. This is Jacob. I'm Lori from Lori's Piano Academy, and we're going to first of all review the things that we learned last week in lesson number 1. And Jacob brought his binder to the lesson with his 3 goals written on it, and he indicated that he practiced 5 times this past week, so that's great. Just to review, the things that we learned last week included sitting up properly at the piano. We talked about sitting on the front half of the bench. Let's move this forward for you a little bit, Jacob. Okay. And having your feet planted on the ground in front of you, so bring them back just a little bit. There you go. Sitting up really nice and tall, straight back. And if you go like this, your arms should, yeah, that looks pretty good. Maybe a little closer even. Okay. Does that feel better?
Yeah.
Yeah. And we also talked about finding all the black keys on the keyboard, the sets of 2 black keys and the sets of 3 black keys. So let's just go through that. Starting at the top, let's find the sets of 2 black keys. Right up here is our first one. And then you go ahead and just play all the way down. 2 black keys. And this is called the top of the keyboard. The right side of the keyboard is the top of the keyboard. The notes get higher, the higher up the keyboard we go. Lower, the lower down the keyboard we go. Let's find the sets of 3 black keys now. We're going to start at the bottom of the keyboard and move up to the top. I'll get the top ones. And we talked about finding the musical alphabet on the keyboard. The white key just to the left of the 2 black keys is C. So we have C's here. You want to find the lower C's, Jacob? Awesome. The white key to the left of the 3 black keys is called, do you remember what that's called, Jacob?
F.
F, exactly. So let's find the F's. Great. And let's find D's next. D is just right between the 2 black keys, isn't it? So here's one, here's one. Go ahead and find the others. Great. Let's find a couple more. How about B's? B's are, do you know what they are? Just to the right of the 3 black keys. That's where B lives. So here's our 3 black keys. B is the white key just to the right. Yep. Let's find the little ones. E. E. And there's one more way down there. It's right next to a single black key. That's our B.
Okay.
Our low B. Now you're ready to begin learning your first song. So that's pretty exciting. The way that we're going to get started with learning a first song is to find middle C position, and that's right in the middle of the keyboard. We talked about that a little bit last week, didn't we? And so Jacob, I'm going to have you put your right hand in middle C position. So that means your thumb is going to be kind of resting a little bit on the side of your thumb on that middle C, and then this finger, your pointer finger, will be on D. So go ahead and play C and then D. And then your middle finger is on E. And then your ring finger is on F. And your pinky finger, your little finger, is on G. Great. Let's play E. Good. And C. And D. And F. And G. Awesome. We have numbers assigned to each of our fingers in piano. This is number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, and number 5. I don't think we learned that yet, did we? Our left hand is the same. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so here's a little test. Hold up your hand, Jacob, and wiggle number 3 finger. So hold it up here so everybody can see. Number 3. Number 1. Oh, yeah, you're right. Your thumb is number 1. Number 5. Number 4. And number 1 again. Good. And number 2. Okay, let's do left hand. Number 5. Number 1. Number 3. Number 4. That one's hard to wiggle.
Yeah.
Number 2. Okay, you got it. So a lot of times in music, our finger numbers are indicated on the sheet music, but right now we just want to memorize finger numbers and notes, and then later on we'll learn how to read the notes with the correct finger numbers. Okay, so let's put our hand back in middle C position with nice rounded fingers. Remember, we want to practice keeping that rounded position so that we don't pop the imaginary bubble that's under our hand. Let's start on G, and we're going to move down G, F, E, D, and C. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. First, we're going to play it really loud, and that's called forte in music. So that's an Italian term. It means play it loud. So it's going to sound like this. As loud as you can play it, okay, Jacob?
Okay.
Great. Now let's go back up from C, D, E, F, and G.
Okay.
Great. Now we're going to play these notes very softly, and in music that's called piano. The term to play softly is piano. So now we'll play it like this. Soft as you can. Good. Now let's go back down. G, F, E, D, and C. So what Jacob just did is he stepped up the keyboard and stepped back down. So when we go from one white key to the next white key, that's called a step. From C to D is a step up. From D to E is another step up. E to F, another step up. And F to G, another step up. So let's step up, starting with C. C, D, E, F, and G. Now when we go back down, one white key at a time, it's called stepping down. G, F, E, D, and C. Now if we are skipping notes, that's called skipping, or skipping keys. So from C to E, we're skipping over a white key. We're skipping over D, and that's called a skip up. So let's do that. C to E. And now we're going to do another skip up to G. And we're going to go skip back down from G to E. And skip from E to C. Great. So we have steps up, steps down, skips up, and skips down. Now we're going to play, this is called staccato. In music, that means to play the notes detached, to play them quickly. Like, I like to imagine that the keys are hot potatoes. So here's playing staccato. We can play it forte or loud. We can also play it piano or soft. So Jacob, let's try staccato, playing forte first. Get those keys off the keys. Fingers off the keys. Yes, that was really good. Now let's play it piano staccato. Soft and detached, like those keys are hot potatoes. Great job. And the last way that we're going to play the steps up is to play them smooth and connected. And there's a term for that in music. It's called legato. So we're going to play these notes smooth and connected. It's the opposite of staccato. let's do it one more time. This time we're going to play it stepping down, starting on G, and we're going to play smooth and connected. Very good. That's a difficult one, and that's something that you can practice every day this week. Practice playing forte, which is loud, piano, which is soft, staccato, which is detached, like you're playing hot potato keys, and legato, which is smooth and connected. Those are our 4 ways to play the keys. Now, you're ready to learn your first song.
Okay.
Okay. This is called Here We Go, and it's in C, middle C position. So just like Jacob has been right in the middle of the keyboard with his thumb, the side of his thumb resting on middle C. And the notes are, I'll play it for you and then we'll go back over it. This song has words. The words go, here we go, up a road to a birthday party. And the notes are C, D, E, C, D, E, D, C, D, E, C, C. Did you hear some long notes and some shorter notes?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the end, the C's are held longer. Okay, so let's learn the first part. We play C, D, E 2 times. Great, and notice that he held the E's just a little bit longer than the C's and D's. And then the next part goes D, C, D, E. So number 2 finger, 1, 2, and 3. Great, let's do that a couple more times just to get that in our mind really nice and strong. D, C, D. That's okay, let's try again. D, C, D, E. Awesome. Oh, and you already know the ending. 2 C's at the end. Okay, let's do 2 more times this middle part. And if you want to look up here, you can to help you remember. D, C, D, E, C, C. Almost. Let's start here on D. D, C, D, E. Ending with C, C. Great. Okay, so that's something that you can practice this week. Every time you sit down at the piano, practice Here We Go. And I want to congratulate you. You just played your first song. That's exciting. The next song that we're going to learn is called Ara Lee. So Ara Lee sounds like this. This one's a little bit longer than the first one, but you might have noticed that there's a pattern, and then the pattern is repeated a second time. So it's actually a longer song, but there's 2 parts to it that are the same. So once you've learned the first part, you've got the whole song down. You just have to play it again. Okay, so Jacob, I have the notes written up here, and what I want you to do is just read through those notes, and you can take it as slowly as you need to and just play that song. When you see the dashes here, that means to hold it longer. This one's held a lot longer, right? And this one's a little bit longer and a lot longer. Ara Lee. hard, huh?
Yeah.
But you did it. There's a lot to think about because you're thinking about your hand position, you're thinking about the note names, you're thinking about whether you're going to hold them or not. And so that's why we practice every day. And if you play this through 2 or 3 times, each time you sit down to practice, by the time you come for your next lesson next week, you'll have it down and it will be so easy. The last song that we're going to learn today is called Ode to Joy. And you probably will recognize this one. Have you heard that before?
Yeah.
And you've probably heard it before too. It's a very famous piece. Ode to Joy. Okay, that's all for today. And just to review, the assignments for this week or the goals that I would like you to work on. First one is to practice the musical alphabet and finger numbers, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And using proper technique of sitting up nice and straight with your feet planted and your hands in a rounded hand position. So that's the first goal, is to work on that. The second goal is to practice stepping up the keys, like we talked about, and back down, stepping down, and then skipping up the keyboard and back down, and to practice the different ways of playing the keys that we talked about. Forte, meaning loud, piano, meaning soft, and staccato, meaning detached, like the keys are hot potatoes, and legato, meaning smooth and connected. And then the last goal for this week is to practice the 3 songs that we learned. I'd like you to practice each one at least 2 times a day. And by the time you come for your next lesson, it'll feel super easy. So that's the end of our lesson. Great job. Give me 5. And I'll look forward to seeing you at our next lesson.